Hey everyone, Leo Kelly G, and thanks to you guys, I have my first sponsorship deal. The company is called DavPix, and a couple of months ago they messaged me on Instagram saying that they were a big fan of my John Mayer content and that they wanted to send me some pics to use in John Mayer videos going forwards. And so I figured that because the sponsorship deal is because of the John Mayer content and the amazing support you guys have given this channel over the past year and a half, that I'd demo some John Mayer songs with the pics, tell you guys my thoughts, and let you guys decide which pic you think is best for playing John Mayer songs. Let's get into it. Before we start, if you enjoy these sorts of videos, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with all the new videos that I've got coming out. Also, make sure to check out my Patreon, where for only £3 a month you can have access to tabs to an increasing number of John Mayer songs and a host of other artists as well. The whole of the Room for Squares album is on there, and it won't be long before the entirety of Any Given Thursday is on there too. You'll never get more value out of £3 a month than you do right now, until I upload more tabs. Then it'll be even better value for money, so it's a win-win. I also upload Guitar Pro tabs, which let you listen to the tab to hear what it sounds like, as well as adjust the speed and single out individual instruments that are being played. Because I use a lot of licensed content in my videos, they're quite likely to get demonetized, and so your support on Patreon would be very much appreciated. Also, make sure to stick around to the end of the video so you can find out which pick I think is best for playing John Mayer songs, and to get the link if you feel like buying a couple yourself. Right, now that's out the way, let's get on with the video. So these are the Riff 1 all-in-one guitar picks. They've given me 5 plectrums in a little packet. In focus or not? The yellow one, orange one, the red one, clear one, and the blue one. It says there's a rounded edge for smooth action, a contoured edge for fast action. There's a little thumb grip so it doesn't fall out your hand if you're picking fast, and an alternative edge for super harmonics on the go. I'm not sure what a super harmonic is versus a normal harmonic, but I would be eager to find out. That sounds fascinating. The 1mm thick, so not too thin as a pick, but not crazy thick either. And there's something at the bottom here that says string tug as well. Not quite sure what string tug is, but yeah, basically that's the anatomy of the plectrums that I've been given. For acoustic, electric, and effects pedals. Never tried to play an effects pedal with a plectrum, but give it a go, I suppose. Great. All-in-one guitar picks. Expert's choice. Sounds like a condom. So the yellow pick is made out of soft nylon and is moderately flexible. The orange pick is made out of nylon and is less flexible, I'm presuming harder nylon than the soft nylon. The red pick is made out of cello, cello, which is a hard and warm tone. The clear one is made out of poly, or poly, which gives a hard and icy tone. And the light blue one is made out of fiber, which is supposed to be a hard and abrasive tone. And it also says it's good for speed and accuracy, good grip and control, clear strong tones, multiple gauges / edges, all in the same pick. So with these picks, they say you can use all 3 sides technically. One for picking, one for smooth action, and one for super harmonics. As an aside, I do know that Scott Henderson uses the leading edge of his pick as opposed to the sharp edge, and so Scott, if you're watching, this may be the pick for you. So in terms of immediate feel, they feel quite plasticky. I know they're made of plastic. Maybe I'm just not used to the sort of shiny, plasticky feel of picks like these. They also look a little bit sort of slippery, just from an optics point of view. The grip's quite nice, however, so I guess that sort of neatens the slipperiness aspect a little bit. They're also only 1mm thick, and so I can imagine if you're really digging into the strings, they're going to bend, and it's going to be hard to pick really, really quickly with sort of a pick of that kind of thickness, because it's going to be hard to really sort of like dig into the strings without the pick bending and sort of getting stuck in between strings as you sort of play as well. They're also quite pointy, and so I'm not quite sure how they're going to feel to play necessarily. I guess that actually depends on how hard you play. I don't play particularly hard, and so sort of if you're playing softly, and obviously the faster you play, the softer you're going to have to play just because of physics. It might be a bit easier to play faster if you play softly, especially if you've got sort of a pointy end of your pick, so that might sort of cancel that sort of initial fear out as well. So for the sake of transparency, so you don't think I'm trying to flog you guys these picks to make a load of money, I thought I'd give you guys a breakdown of the deal that they offered me so you know what I'm getting. So DavPix have offered me 15% commission on each item sold using my discount code LKGguitar. The plectrums are $1.35 or £1.08 per plectrum, or £6.25 or £5.2 for a pack of 5. I'm assuming I won't be getting a cut of the postage and packaging. So 5% off would be $1.28 or £1 for 1 plectrum, or $5.94 or £4.97 for a pack of 5. 15% of that would be a whopping 19 cents or 15p for a plectrum, or 89 cents or 72p for a pack of 5, minus tax and God knows what else as well. In this video, I'll be telling you my honest thoughts about these picks. If you like the way they sound, by all means buy some. If you don't, I won't be losing any sleep over the 15p minus tax that I won't be getting if you don't buy a plectrum. So the reason this sponsorship deal came about was because of my John Mayer videos and because of you guys. And since I can't play you guys because you're not instruments, I figured why not play some John Mayer songs and see how they sound. I'm going to be using 6 different picks, the 5 in the pack, and a pick that I usually use, and I'm going to be testing them for sound, playability, and feel using 6 different guitar parts. Acoustic strumming, acoustic picking, acoustic hybrid, electric strumming, electric picking, and electric hybrid. I'll be playing the acoustic parts using my Yamaha AC 4K acoustic, going into an Audio Technica AT 2020 microphone into a Focusrite interface, and I'll be playing the electric parts using the Silver Sky, going into my Line 6 Helix, and then straight into the same interface. So I guess the only thing left to do is try them out and see how they sound. Let's do it. So in terms of the acoustic strumming, to me, the DAV picks sound a little bit brighter than the pick I normally use, but that might also have something to do with the fact that I've worn this pick down because I played it quite a lot, and the DAV picks are obviously a little bit sharper, so they sound a bit brighter because they're a bit newer. In terms of the picks in relation to each other, personally, I sort of prefer the sort of less kind of like bitey tone, I suppose, and so sort of the hard, icy pick and the blue one, they sound a little bit sort of a bit too abrasive for me. And then in terms of sort of the other 3 that are left, there's not really much of a difference in terms of the sound for me, but sort of feel wise, I think the slightly harder pick's a bit nice because it doesn't bend quite as much sort of as you strum it. So for me, I think the red one is my favorite for acoustic strumming. Oddly enough, the DAV picks actually sound a little bit mellower to me than the picks that I normally use for the picking kind of thing, which is surprising considering they're sort of sharper and newer and they've sort of got that kind of like plasticky feel to them, but they're actually surprisingly sort of mellow to play, which is quite nice. And again, I think sort of the red pick just in between sort of feels a bit nicer for me to play. Again, I'm not sort of picking particularly hard, but sort of like it's got a nice sort of feel to it. Also, I'm surprised how the thumb grip is actually surprisingly comfy to play. I wasn't quite sure sort of how it was going to feel, but actually sort of when you start playing with it, it doesn't feel too bad to play at all actually, so it's quite a nice, it's got a quite nice kind of ergonomic feel to actually play the pick itself, which is quite nice. So for the hybrid stuff for me, you can definitely hear a much clearer tone with the DAV picks than you can with the pick that I'm using. And I think, again, sort of in terms of feel, for me, the sort of red pick, the kind of in the middle sort of pick is feeling quite nice for me. That being said, the clear one isn't too bad either sort of for that one. So again, it's just very much a feel thing, but it's such a sort of small little difference. But sort of like if I had to pick one, I'd probably go for the middle one because the red pick for that, for me, it sort of feels quite nice still. Again, sound-wise, it's not all that different to my ear, the DAV picks versus my picks in terms of sort of actually how they sound. But feel-wise, again, the pick grip's quite nice. The amount of times I've played gigs where like my hands get quite sweaty when I play, and so like if you've got a pick grip, it can be quite nice to sort of actually not have the risk of it slipping out of your hand, because you've got something you can really sort of dig your thumb into, and not have a risk of it sort of falling all over the place. So that can be quite a handy thing to sort of have as well. But yeah, again, feel-wise, red one, or again potentially sort of the clear one for me, for that kind of like sort of digging in and kind of like strumming quite hard style of playing. With the electric, honestly, I can't hear that much of a difference between any of them. It might just be because obviously it's a DI signal, and it's going straight into the interface, and so like the pickups just aren't picking up the sort of nuances between the pick that I normally use and the DAV picks. But again, feel-wise in that case, sort of the medium pick's the one that sort of feels quite nice for me. So definitely, again, the red pick is the one that sort of that I'm sort of keep returning to, just because it feels a bit sort of like more comfy to play, because it's not quite as it's not quite as sort of stiff as the other ones, but it doesn't bend completely, so it's sort of a nice kind of in between feeling to play with. And again, the pick grip's sort of a nice thing to sort of have as well. Once again, similar sort of thing. I think sound-wise, it doesn't really make that much of a difference whether I'm using my pick or using the DAV picks. But again, the red one definitely feels the best to play in terms of the sort of grip of the pick as well as the sort of thickness of it. But the white one's kind of a close second as well. So again, sort of much of a muchness in terms of the tone, but on feel for me, the red one sort of feels the best to play. So as I said at the start of the video, they're either $1.38 or £1.08 per plectrum, or $6.22 or £5.2 for a pack of 5. I had a look at the shipping though, which is like $9.80 or £7.77, so it's quite pricey. They're being shipped from Singapore, but of course that depends on where you're living. I'm based in the UK, and that's quite a lot to spend on guitar picks, and if you're someone who loses plectrums a lot or kind of bulk buys plectrums, it might not be for you. Whereas if you live a bit close to Singapore, the packaging would be cheaper, and so that might be something worth considering. Alternatively, if this is the sort of thing that you like and you're willing to try out some new picks and you're very careful not to lose them, then this could be worth your while. Also, in terms of sort of specialized plectrums, these are definitely on the cheaper end of specialized plectrums that you can buy. I had a look at buying some blue chip picks for playing some bluegrass music, because that's the ones that a lot of bluegrass players use, and they're $35 per pick plus like £20 shipping from the US, which would be like $50 for a pick, which was unbelievable. So sort of compared to that, you know, £6.25 doesn't seem all that bad, really. So I've never really put that much stock in picks personally. I think guitar players largely get used to what they play with. And so if that's stiff picks, soft picks, long picks, or short picks, your hand will adjust. In terms of the initial look and the feel of the picks, I was a little bit skeptical. That being said, I was quite surprised at how nice they felt to play and how they sounded, especially on the acoustic playing. For me, they're not all that different from other picks that I've used in a similar kind of thickness and style. And so in terms of sort of playing that kind of style of music where I'd use that sort of plectrum, I would definitely consider using these in John Mayer content going forwards. If you like how they sounded and you want to do the same, feel free to buy a set and try them out. Or don't if you don't want to. That's totally fine too. As I said, I won't be losing too much sleep over 15 pence per plectrum. And that was my first gear review video. Thank you so much for watching. If there are any other bits of gear that you'd like me to review, drop me a comment and let me know. Once again, be sure to like, subscribe, and push the notification bell to help grow the channel. Subscribe to my Patreon for tabs, and I will see you in the next video.